talked about 2 weeks ago? Samuel and Delilah. Samson and Delilah. Good. Samson and Delilah. Awesome. And we talked about how that God... Listen, stay with me. Okay, here we go. Do this with me just so we can get on track. Here we go. Focus. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So we talked about Samson and how that God has a purpose for your life. God has a plan for you. Okay? And I don't care who you are, I don't know everybody here very well, but I do know this, that it doesn't matter how well I know you, God knows you really well, and God has a plan for your life. He has something that He has for you to do. We talked about that with Samson and Delilah. But Samson kind of cheated himself. Samson really gave up a lot of lifetime of opportunities because of the choices that he made. Last week we talked about how that it's a lot easier to tear somebody down than it is to build somebody up. So that's a choice that we have to make. It takes a long time to build a house, but it takes absolutely no time. You guys right here? You with me? These guys who were fighting each other last week. We talked about that and talked about how that it takes a long time to build a house, but it doesn't take very much time at all to tear it down. And so tonight we're going to talk about somebody in the Bible that I want us to look at, and I want us to kind of learn from his story tonight. I want us to learn from the things that he did, the choices that he made against somebody who probably could have done things differently. But since we know that God has a purpose for our life, we know that we need to be careful of the things that we say because we have the opportunity to build people up or tear them down. Now tonight we're going to look about the message that we really have to speak, the message that we have to give. And it's an important message, it's a powerful message. How many of you guys are here tonight and you have best friends? Maybe not here, but you have best friends. Cool. How many of you have best friends that are here tonight? That's so cool. That's awesome. I love that. I love being able to go to church and hang out with my best friends. It was a lot cooler to hang out with my best friends at youth group than it was to hang out with them at school, because it's school. And so that's kind of neat. How many of you guys, let me ask you this, how many of you guys would do anything for your friends? For your best friends? Almost anything? Okay, here's what, put your hands down. Put your hands down. How many of you would give your life for your friends? Your best friends. Really? No question asked? Here's a question. Here, listen to this question. Here's a good question. How many of you have friends? This is really a good test. How many of you have friends that you know that they would give their life for you? You just know that. You have a shout it out. That's cool. Is that a great feeling? That's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I'll tell you a story really quick about two friends that were Ralph and Edna. Ralph and Edna. Ralph and Edna lived in a hospital. Stay with me. I'm going to tell you about Ralph and Edna. Listen. Ralph and Edna lived in a hospital, in a mental hospital. They had some issues. And they were good friends. They'd been friends for a good while. And Ralph and Edna were walking along one day, and they were walking alongside the pool, and all of a sudden Ralph, he just like, ah! And he jumped in the pool. It's a mental hospital, remember? So he like sinks to the bottom, and he's there, and he's like in the bottom of the pool, and Edna's like, what do I do? And she's like, ah! And she jumps in after him. So she jumps in after him, and she rescues him. She like brings him up out of the pool, gets him out on dry land. She like saves his life. It's awesome. Everybody comes like running, and they're like amazed. They're like, wow, Edna made a good choice. Edna, who lives in the mental hospital, man, this is amazing. And the head nurse came around, and she's like, you know what? This is amazing. She's talking to some of the other directors. She's like, we're going to let Edna go home. This is awesome. We're going to send Edna home because she made a good choice. She proved that she can make a good choice. And so the head nurse, she decided that she would go tell Edna this news. So she went to Edna's room and she was like, Edna, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. She said, the good news is we've decided that because of your decision making, that you don't have to stay here anymore. You made a good choice in a time of crisis. You get to go home. She said the bad news is that Ralph, as soon as he got out and you rescued him, he went back and he went in the bathroom and he hung himself by his belt. And Edna looked at her and she said, he didn't hang himself. I just put him up there to dry. So there's good friendship and there's bad friendship. Dude, I wish that you guys could see your faces. That was awesome. Okay, but here's the deal. How many of you guys really, really do love your friends? You really would. You wouldn't hang them, right? Okay. I've got something that I want to show you. Okay, this is powerful. Okay, guys, this is really touching. This is really gonna touch your heart because this shows two friends. One of them was there for the other in his time of need, and he showed up for him and he helped him. And I want you to pay careful attention because, man, this is the way that I wish that my friends would take care of me. Would you watch this with me for just a minute?
I was fishing last Friday on a lake in Mississippi in the humid summer heat. On a boat with my best friend Cletus, who was sleeping in the back seat. Well, the bites were slow and we were running low on chips and Gatorade. It'd been a long, hard day. I felt a tug on the line and I didn't pay attention. It was spinning way too fast. Before I knew it, I was staring at a 10-pound shiny bass. And when I tried to pull the fish inside, I pulled a muscle in my upper thigh. I was so scared, I threw my rod up in the air. Cletus, take the reel, take it from my hands, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go, and I need your help fast. And if you don't, my fish is gone. Oh, Cletus, take the reel. Oh, I'm letting go, and I need your help fast. If you don't, my fish is gone. On this boat I'm on, Cletus, take the reel. Oh, take it from me.
That is what real friendship is all about. When you're out on a boat and you can't take it anymore, you need a friend like Cletus. Come and take the reel. Okay, stick with me, guys. Here we go. We're going to talk tonight about the message that we have. If you care about your friends, listen. If you care about your friends, if you would do anything for them, if you would save them, if you knew that something was going to come and hurt them, if you would rescue them, if you care about them that much, you'd give your lives for them. Here's the deal. We have a message. We have a very important message. And that message is that Jesus Christ came to solve a big problem. And that problem is that we were separated from God. Sin came and it totally ruined our relationship with God. But because of Jesus Christ, because of what He did, if we accept what He did in our lives, then He comes and He makes things right. He comes and He changes everything when we accept Him. And you guys have got friends that need to hear that message. And we're going to look at somebody tonight who had a message that he needed to give, and he didn't really want to give that message. We're going to look at him tonight. He's a man named Jonah. How many of you have ever heard of a guy named Jonah in the Bible? Yeah, that's right. Delaney knows the story. You know that Jonah was the guy who was swallowed by a really, really, really big fish. Is anybody allergic to seafood? I had a youth pastor who was allergic to seafood. If he ate seafood, his throat would close up and he would die.